Hello, it is 5:30, so it's time for our live Q&A session here in the Phase 2 recipe group. So I'll hold on here for a few seconds and wait for people to come on. Some things I hope to talk about if we have some time, have enough time. I want to be able to answer everyone's question, since that is, the primary purpose of the live session. But I figured I would go over a few things. I wanted to. Hey there, Carolyn. Hi. Okay, one person. Yay, Janet. Yay, people are coming in. So I always get so nervous before I have to do these, and I'm always afraid no one's going to show up. So hey, Jenny. So anyway, I wanted to hopefully touch on a few bases and go over things like comparison, dosing, appetite suppressants, drops, stalls, memory weight, and things like that. So while we don't have questions coming in, do any of you guys have questions at this point? And if not, hey there, Sedalia. If you guys don't have questions at this point, then I'm going to just jump in. One of the things, hi Rose, is I've been seeing a lot of comparison, and it's natural. We always want to compare. And now that we have a lot of men in the group, or not a lot, but a handful of men in the group, it's some loading. That's right, you're getting ready to load. With comparison, it's really dangerous to compare. And I know someone asked something about wanting to compare somebody's daily food log or something like that, or losses log. And I really caution against it. We're all individuals. It's called bioindividuality. All of our bodies are made up with, we all have different bodies that have come from different places. Some people have food allergies, different things like that. So, it's really dangerous to compare, because we're all on our own journey. We've all been through our own things. We've all, gained the weight we've gained and lost the weight we've lost. And so it's, some are going to lose, a pound a day, especially the men. Some men lose 2 pounds a day, and others are going to lose, a half a pound a day. And so I just would really encourage everyone to embrace their own journey, and maybe not, and have not less expectations, but more realistic expectations, and not realize that everyone's unique, and you're going to lose what you're supposed to lose. If you're following the protocol, you are going to lose the amount of pounds that you are meant to lose on the protocol. You can't do anything better than follow the protocol perfectly. And if you've done that, you've lost the amount of weight that your body was meant to release during that round. So with that, Rose, loading, great question. In pounds and inches, it basically just says gorge. And it says gorge yourself. Hi, Nancy. Hate the word gorge. And what I found is that, I did in the beginning, my first, couple rounds, I did gorge, and I felt miserable, and I ate horrible, pizza, beer, and ice cream, and every donuts, and, every yuck food. And those are awesome foods, but they're not healthy for us, especially when you eat a lot of them. And, you go through a major detox the first week, And so what we've found is that if you load healthy, the whole purpose of loading is to build your fat stores, and for a couple of reasons. One is, as the HCG is building in your bloodstream, then it's I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. Okay, so hey, Terrence. So anyway, as the HCG is building in your bloodstream, you've loaded on those first 2 days, and you've built your fat stores, and that helps you get through the first week as the HCG is coming up in your bloodstream. And it also, what it's doing is it's tricking your body, because we've all heard that, we go on a low-calorie diet, our bodies go into starvation mode. Well, what happens if you load on really healthy fats the first 2 days while you're on your injections? Then you're building that fat storage, and you're telling your body, oh yeah, it's no problem, I've got lots of fats coming in. So your body's readily releasing the fat over the next week. So So it just tricks it into not flipping into starvation mode. So healthy fats are avocados, nuts. If you do dairy, then, you know, cheeses, full fat yogurt. And I mean, also people, hey there, some people, they you know, they want to eat the things that they're going to miss. So in the beginning, like I said, I went and I ate pizza and donuts and things I was going to really miss over, you know, the period of, you know, the 40 days of my round. So, you know, nowadays I don't eat those foods except for on a very rare occasion. So, you know, loading for me is the nuts. You know, macadamia nuts are excellent because they've got a high fat content. Avocados are excellent. Coconut oil, and you can make what are called fat bombs, and they're really fun. Hey Jennifer, they have coconut oil and cacao powder and stevia, and you just kind of melt it all out, and then you can put it in like ice trays, and then you pop them out, and you can eat them like chocolate candy. And so that's really good for loading and in for phase 3. So did I answer your question, Rose, about loading? Is there anything specifically you want to know about loading? And so their comparison, then dosing. I've been seeing a lot of talk. Yeah, fat bombs are awesome. Great. Awesome, Rose. Perfect. I've been seeing a lot of conversation about, yes, and today I'm going to actually talk about memory weight today too. But I've been seeing a lot of conversation about dosing, and dosing is really it's a delicate area to get into, because I have literally seen people who, you know, they see in these groups to, oh, your dose is too high, change your dose, or your dose is too low, you know, up your dose, you know, and I've literally seen people chase a perfect dose their whole round, and they're miserable because they never find the perfect dose. So, you know, I really would prefer people in the group not instantly jump to, oh, your dose is wrong, because there's a lot of other things. Usually the dose isn't an issue until about day 8, 9, 10. Your first week, if you're having some hunger, it's usually because your body's adjusting to the lower calories and the HCGs, you know, raising in your bloodstream. So hunger, and if you didn't load properly and you didn't get enough fats, you know, a good load, you should gain 4 to 7 pounds in a good load. And so if you're not getting enough fat, you didn't gain any weight. And there are people there are people that lose during loading, but it's rare. A good load, you actually need to gain weight and you gain fat. So if you're hungry the first week, it's usually because you didn't load well, or you loaded on carbs and sugars and you're actually feeling detox, which makes you feel kind of hungry and miserable. So with dosing, my recommendation is, if you're having super major hunger, like I see, Mammy, you're having hunger on the 12th, you're on the 12th day and you're very hungry, especially at nighttime. So you and I should talk about adjusting your dose, or what I recommend highly. If you're on day 12 and you are experiencing abnormal hunger, then it probably is a dose issue. And so what I recommend is doing what's called a skip day. So you'll skip your HCG dose for the day and pay attention to how hungry you feel on that day. And then usually, if you're really hungry the next day, now let me get this right because it's backwards and my brain flops it. So if the day you don't have any HCG, you're more hungry, then your dose was too low and you need to raise it. And if the day you skip your dose, you're less hungry, then your dose was too high and you need to lower it. But lowering and raising should be done in 0.5 increments. So if you're on 12.5 and you're hungry and you do the skip day and you find that you need to go up just to 13. And yes, Lauren, it does stay in your system for 72 hours, but it does fluctuate. So what we found, and this works, I work with so many people that have, come into these groups miserable, ready to quit because they're horribly hungry because they've been dosed wrong from the clinics. It's very, very common for a clinic to dose extremely high. And I've helped so many people. And the best way I found, Lauren, is to have a skip day. And it really works. On that skip day, you're either more hungry or less hungry. And then we move it around and you actually get to, a good dose. And if you make small jumps, it's easier to get to the correct dose. I find people that, they jump from 13 to 17, down to 15, down to 10, and they're just going all over the place. And they spend their entire round chasing the perfect dose so that they don't have hunger, and they end up being miserable and hungry their entire round. So what's the best way to deal with special occasions during phase 2, like a wedding? Awesome question. And you're welcome, Lauren. So it takes preparation. The best thing you can do is, if you know that there's a wedding coming, don't start phase 2, and or use the wedding for your loading days. That's what I always suggest, is if you know some major event is coming, use that for loading. And so take your injections the day of that event, or the day before and the day of that event, for those 2 days, and do your loads on those days. If you absolutely positively cannot arrange your schedule, and you really want to start phase 2, and there's going to be an occasion, a birthday, a wedding, or something like that, you have to prepare ahead of time. Yeah, it's true. You do keep waiting and something else comes up. So what I recommend, and this is, when I first did HCG back in 2011, 2012, and since then, what I have found that works really well is you need to prepare ahead of time what you're going to eat that day from your approved phase 2 list, and then prepare it ahead of time. Either if you're self-conscious and you don't want to eat in front of everybody, eat your food in front of everybody, then eat beforehand or after, or go, hi Barbara, or go and sneak away and eat. Then while you're there, stay away from the food tables, stay away from the cakes, stay away from anything that's going to tempt you. You really have to make it, you have to decide in your mind that the money and the time that you've invested, and that the goal that you have to know that you need to stay on protocol. And it's one wedding in your life. It's one day out of your life. And so, just prepare ahead of time, either eat before, eat after. What I always did, and really, really helped, is I always had a glass of sparkling water, soda water with lime in it, and I carried it with me. Or I would also do coffee or iced coffee, black coffee or iced coffee, and I carried it with me all through the entire event, so that I had something in my hand. I could stand around with people and feel like I was participating because I had, something in my hand. Yes, dance more. There you go. Just avoid the food table. And when everybody's sitting down to eat, if it's definitely if it's a sit down meal or something, find something else to do. Go play with the kids. Go, just make sure you have a plan before you go. Because if you go into it without a plan, you're going to usually end up succumbing to temptation. And so just always have a plan ahead of time, and know what you're going to eat and when, and how you're going to avoid food, and any questions that you might get. Just let everybody know, hey, you're going through a detox, you're doing low carb, whatever. Nobody has to know what you're doing. So, and yes, sparkling water and lime looks like you're drinking. If there's alcohol at the party, you look like you're not standing out by not participating. So I saw here a second ago. I hope that helps, Rose. Jenny, is it normal to lose your first week and then just stop for several days? Yeah, I saw your post, and you eat straight from the chart. But if I remember correctly, did you say you don't count your calories, Jenny? And that, I think I commented on that last week about, you eat from the chart and without making recipes. it really depends how many days you've been on the protocol, days you've been stalled, how much you've lost overall. Those questions, I need to know those things to know if it's normal or if there's something else that might be going wrong. So you can answer those and we can go from there. Stalled in the 3rd week. That was stalls. Stalls and memory weight was on my list. So stalls are completely normal. Normally they happen between day 10 and day 16, can last about a week. They can last anywhere from 3 days to an entire week. Then for people who do 40-day rounds, or even 30-day rounds, which can be really frustrating. That's why I always like the 40-day rounds, because they come back, you stall again around day 20, and you can stall for 3 days to a week there too. And I always hated ending my round right after a stall, so I liked going the full 40 days and being able to start losing again after the 2nd stall. But usually they only last, 3 days to a week. And if you just stick strictly to protocol, and there's in pounds and inches, there's a whole section. It's around page 35 from the one on my website, and I'll post it. It's I can just www.hcgwithme.com, and if you look at click on the button for about HCG, and it'll scroll down, it'll be pounds and inches, and you can download. And I think it's around page 34. It talks about fluctuations in losses, and it talks about all the possibilities that could be giving you a stall. And one of them, and that's what we're finding Sedalia is having a challenge with, is that memory weight. Memory weight is, and I think, I forget what it's called in pounds and inches, but it's where you've spent a considerable amount of time in your life at a certain weight. When I first gained weight, and I thought I was so fat then, but I was 18, and I had always been at 120, and then I had a bunch of things happen in my life, and I went up to 165, and I was 165 for a while. And when I was doing the HCG, I found that 165 was a set weight for me, and that I would stall. I had several others too, but I remember the 165 was a major stall for me. So one of the things to think about if you're stalling is this a memory weight? Is this a weight I've spent a considerable amount of time with in my life? And yes, 1 day of cheating equals 4 days to make up, meaning if you do cheat, chances are really good you're going to either stall or gain. So, or both, gain and then stall. So if you've done any cheating and you're stalling, that's the reason why. So let's see. You measure. Correct. I know, but we had talked about that. It's that, so on the food list, and I had put this in that comment, Jenny, that say you have chicken and white fish one day, and then you eat celery and cucumber. Well, and then you eat the fruit and you eat the the grissini. Your calories are going to be really low that day because those are all really low calorie items. So I highly recommend that you take the sheet that you got in your kit and you look at it and go, okay, well, so today I'm going to have beef, that's 182 calories, and then I'm going to have chicken, and that's 106, and add those up, and then go, okay, so what vegetables, and and add it all up for each day, because you could be way low, or if you're eating tomatoes and onions and beef and chicken, and then the orange and an apple, you could be over your calories. And Dr. Simeons in Pounds and Inches said you're not at all supposed to go over 500 calories. So if you're not counting the calories, and it's super easy, it's right in this row here is the calories. And so you just look at what you've eaten, and you go and you circle the calories, and then you go add it up. And with that, you're going to end up making sure that you're not way below 500 or over 500, because certain combinations of this put you up to 545 calories, and that could be a very good reason why you're not losing, because you're consuming too many calories. So use the tools that are out there. I know it's a pain if you don't like counting calories, but it's only for 23 to 40 days. And it's going to be the difference between success or failure, or success or not as much success. Sorry, I shouldn't say failure, but success or not as much success. So if you're stalling, that might be the reason why, is you're consuming too many calories or not enough. Hey, Jeanette, how are you? I miss you. Let's see, your daughter and I are both stalled in week 3, several days now. Okay, so, and you count everything. So how many days is several days? And how much have you lost total, Marnie? And go to page 34 in pounds and inches and go through, it could be, are you taking a supplement like vitamin D or fish oil that have oil in it? That can help, that can cause stalls. Certain cosmetics can cause stalls, things like that. So Lauren, you drink apple cider vinegar daily and never stalled. You are a lucky person to have never stalled. But apple cider vinegar is excellent. And I do a Cali kicker. And how I do it is I make a mug this size, and I put green tea, and then I a shot of apple cider vinegar in it, and then I haven't done it in a while, so half of a lemon, juice of half of a lemon, a dash of cayenne, a dash of cinnamon, and stevia, and then I sip on it all day long. In the summer, I'll put ice in it, make it cold. In the winter, I drink it hot. And so that combination does actually help. The cayenne actually boosts the metabolism. So, and the apple cider vinegar is really good for detoxing and things as well. So great point there with the apple cider vinegar. Fourth, can you do back-to-back 40-day rounds? You can do back-to-back 40-day rounds with 6 weeks in between, pounds and inches. And that's what I was going to ask. How many people, what buttons are there? Or just do a thumbs up, everybody that has read pounds and inches, and I don't know what the other buttons are for you to do. Insert emojis. I don't know what they are. And it's not going to come up. Do a sad face, or no, down here they've got different things here. Yeah, just do a sad face if you haven't read pounds and inches. So in pounds and inches, basically it says that you need to, awesome. Pounds and inches is your HCG Bible, and it explains, it was written by the doctor who created it, and it explains everything about the protocol. So you can do a 40-day round, but you need to take 6 weeks in between and maintain your last injection weight. You need 3 weeks of phase 3, 3 weeks of phase 4. If you choose, then you can, or you can just continue 6 weeks of phase 3, which is eating fats, no carbs, no sugars, and then you can go back. Or you can even add the sugars and natural, healthy sugars and carbs back in. No Snickers bars, but there's naturally occurring sugar in lots of different things that in phase 4 you can add back within reason. So, but it is recommended, or Dr. Simeon says we need to do 6 weeks in between rounds. I hope that answered your question there. Lauren, do you mix that? Probably the apple cider vinegar. You measure the food and started phase 2 11 days ago. Okay, 11 days ago. So you're right in, the stall period of time. And so, Jenny, you and I should probably kind of, well, like I said, everybody should go to, that's having stall questions or issues, go to Pounds and Inches. And like I said, it's on my website at www.hcgwithme.com, about HCG, and you'll see Pounds and Inches, and you can download it. And it's around page 34, what talks about fluctuations in weight loss. And I recommend going and reading all of it, because there might be something you'll come across and go, oh my gosh, that's what it is. I didn't even realize. So, but you and I can also talk, Jenny, and make sure. But with you, I would highly recommend counting your calories the rest of the round and making sure you're not going over or under. your calories. 2 tablespoons, Mammy, the 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Now in my Cali Kicker, I just put a shot glass of apple cider vinegar in it, or I'll do homemade kombucha that I make. So let's see, this is second stall due to memory weight, and there. So in the fluctuations in weight loss, it does talk about memory weight, and memory weight's really, really frustrating. And yeah, your Sedalia's ending on a stall, and it's really frustrating. I know. I've nothing more frustrating than ending on a stall. I'm sorry. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. Okay. 4-day stall. You've lost 14 pounds, and you're in the 3rd week. What day of the third? What day of Marnie? What day are you on? Oh, and you started vitamin D. Yeah, you might want to stop the vitamin D. Vitamin D, the little capsules or the little gel caps, they have oil in them. And I can't do vitamin D or vitamin E when I'm in phase 2 because they have oil in them. They are vitamin D and vitamin E, and I think K and A are all fat soluble. And so I know with D, it needs to be with a fat to be able to be absorbed. So definitely, Marnie, I would stop taking the vitamin D at least until you're done with phase 2. And you can add it back in phase 3 because we can have fats in phase 3. Smooth Move tea. I do actually recommend, I do actually caution people about Smooth Move tea. Sienna is really, really harsh on the gut. And I know that that's what most clinics and stuff have recommended is Smooth Move tea when you have constipation. And we talked about this on the last live. But it's really harsh on the gut. Something that works a lot better and helps with a lot of things is magnesium and also vitamin C. If you take a higher dose of vitamin C, it helps move things along as well. And it's a lot easier. Plus, the magnesium helps with cramping and it helps with sleep and relaxing your muscles. So I would recommend people more towards magnesium and vitamin C than the Smooth Move tea because it just is really very, very harsh on the gut and your digestive system. And so, okay, pounds and inches is a must. Yes, you've completed. I haven't completed yet. Still reading. Awesome. Yeah, I would recommend, especially Jenny right now, go to the page 43 or 34 and fluctuations of weight loss and see if there's anything in there that might ring a bell that maybe might also be causing the stall. Lauren only weighs weekly, so well, that's true. And maybe if you only weigh weekly, you don't know if you've stalled. Wilma's read pounds and inches several times, reread it before every round. Great. It's, yeah. I know that Jeanette, she has it next to her nightstand, and she reads it all the time when she's in around. Sorry, excuse me. Let's see. Can you use? No, not on Lauren. Not on the original protocol. The original protocol, and that's our group is strict original protocol. Is only the foods that are allowed in pounds and inches, and protein powder and almond milk is not allowed in the original protocol. Gummy vitamin D. Okay, yeah, you might want to look at that and see what the ingredients are in that. Interesting. D25. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, okay. So you've lost 14 pounds in 25 days, which is actually, you know, that's decent, more than half a pound a day. It's probably just a natural stall time for you, or possibly, you know, I don't know if it's a memory weight. Oh my gosh, I've run through all the questions. I thought I was getting behind, so I was like speeding up. So I hope I didn't talk too fast and not be able to, you know, get my point across, or, you know, makes that I made sense. So the fact that both you and your daughter are both stalling, Marnie, around about, let's see, you're on day 25. So you're right in the middle of the second stall time, which, like I said, is usually between day 20 and day 26. So that's pretty normal stall time for people. And stalls, you know, they're not, emotionally, they suck. But what is happening is it's your body adjusting to the weight loss and the fat loss, and the fat's redistributing in your body, because your HCG targets fat and it leaves the healthy fat, you know, the fat that cushions our joints and the fat in our brain, the fat around our internal organs and stuff. And so, you know, it's redistributing the fat. And usually, Marnie, I don't know, and if you measured yourself when you first started, I recommend everybody take before pictures and measure themselves. And I do have up in the files, I have a figure that shows you exactly how to measure, where to measure on your body. But usually when you're stalling, you can look at your measurements and see that you've lost a significant amount of inches. Normally in a round of HCG, your inches pretty much match your pounds. Like my first round of HCG that I did, I lost 38 pounds in 40 days, and I lost around 36 inches off of my body. So it's usually about the same. So there's that. Let's see. We went comparison, dosage, appetite suppressants. Appetite suppressants, and I wrote a blog on it a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago. They're not necessary, and Pounds and Inches says they are completely not necessary during a round of HCG, because HCG suppresses the appetite, hungry, and it's because it's, you know, even though you're eating 500 calories, it is pulling anywhere from 24 to 4,000 calories of your abnormal fat to use as fuel. So you're not experiencing hunger most of the time. You experience normal hunger, usually 15 minutes to 30 minutes before a meal. All of a sudden, you know, you feel hungry, and it's your body saying it's time to fuel your body, and that's normal. And that's actually really good to start to get to know that that hunger feeling, you know, because that's what's going to, you know, help you through the rest of your life after you're done with HCG. Is, you know, that hunger tells you when to eat, and then, you know, you stop when you're satisfied. So appetite suppressants are not only are they not necessary, but they're actually counter. They counter what HCG is trying to do. HCG is resetting your hypothalamus and your metabolism, and appetite suppressants, they just wreak havoc and cause chaos to your metabolism. So I really suggest, you know, they're not necessary. Try to do without them. And if you feel that you need them for some reason, then you probably have a dosing issue. So, all right, well, that actually covered all of my list and all of your questions, and I don't see any new questions coming in. Is there anything I didn't cover, or anything that anyone else has any questions on? And if not, then I can let all of you go tonight. And I really appreciate all of you guys showing up. I mean, how exciting. I'm always afraid when I get on here, nobody's going to be here, and I'm going to just have to talk to myself for about 10 minutes and say goodbye. So I appreciate all of you very much. I appreciate your participation in the group and in this live questions and answers. So no more questions, and I didn't get any emailed to me, so we're good. I'm going to let you all go. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the group. And I'll see you next week. We'll do another one next Thursday. So if you think of anything, just email me at lanita@becomingnewagain.com, and I will answer the question on the call. Thanks. Good night.